We were talking all about wisdom through the lens of teachers and teachers who emulate the ultimate teacher, and those who are coaches or leaders in the room, teachers that we were just talking about who teach little ones. It's this knowing that it's not necessarily teaching always just the mind. Mind is important. Mindset is critical, but it has to be heart set first. And I talked about 5 incredible teachers beyond Pedro. He wasn't even on the list, so kudos to his name drop. But I'm going to drop a couple of the other names just so you can write them down if you weren't listening or didn't follow along with the first training. So Curtis Blake, a teacher you have to follow. Angie Smith, incredible author, teacher, trainer. Graham Cook, he's world renowned in the work that he has done. Christine Kane, who is also an entrepreneur. A lot of these people play in so many different lanes and veins, and I think it's important for us to realize, and I'll make note of one of the things I said earlier this morning, that we all have multiple gifts, but ultimately every single one of us shares the same calling, which gives me such peace and should give you peace, because if you're curious about your calling, just ask your brother or sister, hey, what do you feel called to do? Hey, what do you think you're meant to do? And you can self-construct that, or you construct that as the body of Christ. You can construct that as a team, as a group, right? But knowing that we do not want to do that under the guise of herd mentality. If you don't know what that means and you're not in the political rush, it's totally cool. I am not a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe in how people can control the mind when it's more important for us to be first recognized in the righteousness and the holiness of our heart that then goes out to our mind, that then goes out to our actions. The next and last person who I mentioned earlier is Dr. Brian Simmons. The next 5 teachers I'm going to teach about, you may or may not know. I'm assuming you know all of them, but there's one specifically, and it's the first one I want to share here, that is likely a name you won't know. She's not necessarily Googleable, if that's even a word these days, but she, and I think many, many others, go nameless. Nameless prophets, nameless mothers, nameless friends, people who have been wisdom droppers in your own life. Even this morning, I recognized that Noah's wife was never named in the Bible. And there's a lot of thought on who she actually is. And I'm kind of researching that right now, so I don't want to reveal what I've discovered thus far. But it's this knowing that not everyone is going to be named. That might include me. Like, you might hear my name now, and you might know Amelia's name now, but maybe it's not something, she's leaving a legacy, no questions asked. But I think about my name after I pass, and whether it's sealed on the legacy of my daughter and son's heart, or it's something that the nations know, isn't the most important thing. What's important is what you teach as you have an opportunity to teach. So this woman is a powerful voice of God. She actually spoke at the last FounderCon conference that I hosted in Nashville. Our next one will be in November, so make sure you have November 8th through the 11th on your calendar. It is absolutely epic. It's for founders, innovators, and trailblazers, and we come together. This particular one is going to have 3 separate tracks depending on what of those kind of lends itself to your leadership. Are you a founder, like a CEO of a company, or a mission-driven company? Are you a trailblazer? And the trailblazers are people who are missionaries or nonprofit starters. And then the innovators are those who are content creators or influencers. And so we're going to have different tracks I'm excited about.